Hey, welcome to Starting Stand Up. I'm David Walton. If you're new here, I'm an actor. I've been doing TV and film for 20 years. And then I got this delusional idea that I can get good at stand-up comedy. And so I started, and it's not going well. And this whole podcast kind of tracks the slow motion car crash of what it's like to start something that's really hard. This is a very special episode because hours ago, and I'm not lying, hours ago, at my 16th open mics, something very, very exciting, weird, kind of scary happened. For the first time ever, the hosts of this show, their actual comics, they asked me to be in their real shows, like with paying customers and everything, not open mics, like actual shows. And this is a cool episode because I didn't know this was going to happen. And I kind of recorded my struggles this afternoon, a little taste of my neuroses prior to going up. I will share the actual open mic that got these guys to give me an opportunity. So you're getting it all. You're just going to get it raw and fresh, just the way you like it. So buckle up, and thank you for being here.
Oh man, that's rubbish! That's rubbish!
So, journal entry. I'm going to go down to Biddeford. I'm going to do an open mic. I know what I need to do, which is just to rehearse over and over and over and over again. Profound resistance. I don't want to do it. It's weird. The idea of memorizing something and then performing it somehow removes the joy. It's like I want to go up there and not knowing what's going to happen and what's going to come out of my mouth. And somehow just like having a whole set routine and doing it feels wrong. And I don't know if that means that I'm not, that I can't do stand-up, or whether that means it's just an attitude thing. I don't know what it is. But there's something about kind of having it all memorized that I am profoundly resistant to, and also just practicing it over and over and over again in my office alone is like nails on a chalkboard. But I know that if the better I know it, it's like the host of the Golden Globes. She did it, I don't know, she kept saying on the red carpet that she did it like 92 times. She knew it so well that she could just relax and have fun. Maybe if I was hosting the Golden Globes, I could rehearse it, but in this case, I'm going to Biddeford, Maine on a Wednesday before a snowstorm. So, what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that I don't know why I have such a profound resistance to doing all this stuff. And that's sort of my pregame thought. I am excited to kind of do this material. It's 6 o'clock. I'll leave in an hour. I'll come back. I'll share what I did, and then my postgame. It's going to be a classic, raw episode. Pregame, performance, post-game. Super Journal vibes. I'm at the Comedy Mill here in Biddeford, Maine. I showed up at 7:31. There were already 12 names down, so I'm number 13. And there's usually about 20 comics that come to Biddeford, Maine on a Wednesday. It's 11 degrees outside. And this is my least favorite part of the process. It's just a bunch of dudes talking aggressively to each other, just really high energy, and it's very hard for me, so I just sit in a chair. Sometimes I have some chats, but it's just exhausting. I'm exhausted. So I got to wait about an hour and a half, maybe longer, to go up. And at that point, I will have forgotten everything I was working on, and it will be a whole new thing because it just goes away. You get all primed up, you get jacked, you rehearse, you get through it. Car ride down, you get ready to go, and then you wait an hour and a half, and everything changes. The energy, all of it changes. So these are some of the obstacles, but I'm excited to see what we got. We're gonna just rip. The intention tonight is to bring energy, like to be a high energy guy, and just be loose and connected again. and not be too attached to anything, just to roll like I'm giving a wedding toast, as opposed to doing precision guided missiles. Just loosey-goose. See what happens. Trust that I know and will say a couple of the jokes. And just also not worry too much that, we're not filming a fucking HBO special here. I'm at the Comedy Mill in Biddeford, Maine. All right. That's my pregame journal, and I'll see you after.
The next comic coming up is Walton. I don't know his first name. Let's go. He knows who I was talking about. David Walton, everybody! Thank you very much. I'm going to talk about some white problems. Yeah, like my dad didn't hug me. No, I am going to talk about my dad. He's 84, okay? So he's sort of putting out a 3-footer on the 18th green of life, if you will. But he's got dementia, so he's facing the wrong way. It's like, Dad, the hole's over here, and you're not holding a putter, Dad. That's a spatula. But no, my dad actually doesn't hug. He was born in 1940, right? And that was not a generation of hugger. Back then, the only time you ever hugged someone is if they survived the Titanic. That was it. But I don't blame him. You know what I mean? Like this was a generation. You really got to go there. Like if you're 7 years old, your mom died. Your dad just came up to you and was like, "She was a good woman, son. And I know you're sad, but here's a stick. Go poke some holes and feel better. And put on your Sunday best in a couple hours because I'll be marrying your mother's younger sister this afternoon." Truly. So I don't blame him. His love language is. My dad's love language is firm handshakes and disappointed sighs. He's up in Boston right now, extremely disappointed about what I'm doing. I'm not lying. The first time I ever hugged my dad was when I was going away to college, and my mother forced it. He was so pissed off. He preferred the head nod across the room. But she watched like a hawk, and he came up to me, and it was the weirdest thing to see a grown man. He was 60 at the time. And he just sort of spazzed out. He goes, "Are you happy, Candy? Are you happy with this?" to my mom. And then he did the weirdest thing. He gave me this advice. It's sort of the only advice he's ever given me. He said, "David, I don't care what you do. Just don't get caught." And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, did that hug just turn me into Jeffrey Dahmer or something? And then I thought about it. I was like, that's really good advice, And I'm gonna be honest, I've done a lot of illegal things in my life, and I have never ever been caught by my dad. So I'm overcompensating right now. I'm overcompensating with the lack of hugs I got, and I'm hugging the shit out of my 12 and 11-year-old. My wife and I are kind of creepy about it. We do like Oreo cookie, or I'm a cookie, she's a cookie. My son's in the middle, he's the sweet cream filling. We're just dipping ourselves into warm emotional milk. It's really weird. It's slightly disturbing. My dad witnessed it once. And I honestly think he contracted dementia intentionally to forget what he saw. But they say that kids, there's a problem with the amount of hugging we're doing. The kids they'll try to mimic what they got as kids when they're grown up. So I have this fear that my daughter, who I hug so much, is gonna have her senior project be like, "I would like to do an MDMA assisted cuddle puddle with the teachers of the school, please." The other problem with hugging so much is my kids don't have shame. There's no shame, and some shame is good, you know what I mean? The other day, my daughter, she goes, "Dad, I thought she was asking for a pencil, but she was doing her normal thing after school, eating avocado toast, watching Korean dramas, and she was like, "Hey Dad, can you get me a new pair of underwear? I just sharted." And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Inside, I was like, first of all, why are you so relaxed? And second, why are you still eating, sweetheart? The truth is, I came from a big family, man. You had it when I sharted back then. I didn't tell a soul. I had 5 siblings. I ran to the bathroom. I didn't tell a soul. I was putting underwear, washing it away like I was disposing a body. And like, because if my siblings had found out that I had shit myself, I would have been, Shartzilla for 18 months. I would have been Shart Attack. I would be like, oh, this is the Phantom of the Shartera. My brother, oh, don't shake my brother's hand. It's 90% feces. And the truth is, and I wanted to tell my daughter, like, sweetheart, look, I don't want you to feel shame. I don't want you to, but I would just like a little bit of embarrassment when you shit yourself, so I know you're fucking human. But do you think Grandpa, when he shits himself, like continues to eat dinner? No. He lashes himself into oblivion. Damn it, Candy, I gotta go change my underwear. I shot myself again. Please pause the movie. I apologize. Like, he's gonna feel like he betrayed his ancestors, and I want a little more of that from you, sweetheart. Parenting's hard. The other day, my son asked me if I'd ever done cocaine. And thank you, 5th grade DARE program. Fuck you. And I don't lie to my kids, and that's really the issue. So he goes, Dad, have you ever done cocaine? And I was like, why? Do you have some? No, I said, I just fucking bit the bullet. I was driving to school, and I go, yes. And I look over, and he's horrified. I mean, he's truly horrified. And he goes, what? How many times did you do it? And I was like, all the times. What are you talking about? All the times. No, I was like, I don't know. I don't remember, boy. And he goes, well, no, but like, is there a range? Like, how many times? Dad? I'm like, I don't know, between 1 and every time it was ever offered to me. And then I was like, and then he goes, no, Dad, but why do you do it? What's it like? Like, what is it like? And I said, well, first of all, if you had done it, you'd have a lot more confidence asking these questions of me. But secondly, I tried to get on his page, you know what I mean? I was like, you know when you really, really, really want candy and you'd suck your best friend's dick to get it? That's what it's like. That was too far. It's crazy. You just never know it's too far. That was my favorite joke of the whole one. Silence. No, the truth is, it's none of your fucking business what I said to my son, all right? That's my business. It's between me and the social worker and the DEA agent. Anyway, I think I'm getting close to my time, but the truth is, I'm going to bring it back to my dad. Dementia's really fun, actually, in a weird way, because you can ask your dad crazy questions. My dad's a conservative guy. You can ask him crazy questions. Like, Dad, have you ever smoked meth? He's like, I don't think so. But I was all spiraling about the cocaine thing, and I was like, Dad, have you ever done cocaine? And he was like, why, do you have some? No, we actually did a bunch of blow together, but it had all this baby diuretic in it. So to sum up, my dad, me, and my daughter all need new underwear. My name's David Walton. Have a good one. Fuck yeah, give it up for David Walton, everybody, huh? Cocaine fucking cowboy over here. Hell yeah, I've never wanted to go home and hug my children so much in my fucking life, dude.
I just did it, so I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to work on it to get it funnier. But like anything, if I give myself a few days and fresh ears it, I'm sure I'll have ideas. But the takeaway for me is just focusing on something. It's so hard for me. It's much more fun to just kind of spray all these new ideas and kind of write and ramp and vamp and do these 10-minute loose tens and just complain, and getting into it and trying to tighten is what I basically forced myself to do. And the rewards are obvious. You actually have a set that starts to feel like actual stand-up, and there's care to it, there's shape. Even jokes that aren't that great are still, fillers. They keep people engaged. And so it's getting there. And it's getting there to the point where, we're going to perform for paying audiences. in Maine. Here we go. So that was my 16th open mic. Lucky number 16. Hopefully with these new audiences, I can start to get that, the joy of really connecting to a room, and a bigger room, with more people who are fired up to laugh. The hardest thing with these open mics, I did basically that set in New York, and it was just crickets. I didn't know it as well. I was kind of reading a lot of it, but it was really precise language, but it was literally no laughs. Like literally not. The only laugh I got was on the Phantom of the Chartera, and it was just like one dude like, Those New York open mics are brutal. They are brutal. And everyone's good. Like, they are good. Everyone in New York, with the exception of like one guy tonight, is good. Like, they're written material. They have an energy. They've a lot of stage time, and they're getting up in these open mics, and it's crickets. And it's just because there's almost like a jadedness you feel. And next time Jeremy's on, he'll talk about it. I mean, we were just sort of blown away by the brutality of the New York open mic scene. Oh, so Maine feels sort of like, everyone's just hairy and, drinking beer and way looser and chiller. Everyone just seems less upset and unhappy. They seem happier than New York. Okay, I am brain dead. It's late. It's been a long day. It's been a very nerve-wracking day. I really didn't want to go do this. I was sitting there for the first hour and a half watching these comics and just really like, what am I doing with my life? And then you hung in there and you do it. And I was happy with the way it went. And then we've got a new chapter. We just turned the page. Chapter 2. Real shows. Real comedy shows coming up. Coming at you. Low energy podcast, but I hope fun to listen to. It's exciting to have a journal. And even if it was just for myself, coming back to it 10 years later, but to know that 3 of you are listening is also makes me happy. No, it's just you listening. It's just you. There's no one else. It's just you listening to this. It's you and me. That's it. You and me, baby. All right. Go do some cocaine. I'll see you next time.